it? What is it? What another beautiful day in paradise here on the Great Loop. We have found out what was that dock last night as we were coming into shore. This is the Sapelo Island ferry dock. So the ferry will pick you up in Darien, take you here. I was looking online to see about public access and it wasn't too clear to me. So there was a lot of stuff about like if you know a resident on Hog Island, you can come here. But I think that's all for using the ferry to get here. For a private vessel, I'm not quite sure. But Ollie's gonna have some good sniffs before we get on our long road for the day.
We're Jen, Elliot, and Ollie. In 2019, we booked a one-way flight to Colombia, and after traveling to 11 countries, we were locked down in India for 5 months. Coming back to the US, we decided to pivot into boat life and cruise on a 6,000-mile journey called America's Great Loop. Make sure to subscribe as we share the highs, lows, and everything in between.
We have a 10-hour cruise today, so it's a very long one, a 50+ mile cruise. So Ollie's gonna get as much sniffs as she can on this nice long walk because she won't be going out for a little while. It is interesting at the ferry dock here because it's just lined with cars all parked here, and this island, Sapelo Island, is not connected to anything. So and the only way to get here is the ferry. So I guess that's where the residents go to work. So I mean, I presume a lot of these cars are just left here until their owners come back and use them to drive around the island. And it's pretty cool on the Great Loop to be able to come to a place like this and just see what it's like. Now, if you want to know more about Sapelo Island, they do offer tours. So what I saw you could do on Navionics actually is you can book a tour either online or call in the office and just meet the ferry here. So you don't need to take the ferry in from Darien. So that might be a nice way to explore the islands if you're stopping here for a night or two. Oh, yeah. Have to go back to the boat. Start our cruise for the day. Ollie, you ready? Yeah. All right, let's go.
Good morning. I got up a little bit later after Elliot did, basically just in time for me to help pull up the anchor and get on our merry way. Mornings like these, although I'm not a morning person per se, Mornings like these make it so easy to get up because the scenery is just incredible. We have been listening to the birds and watching the birds and watching the dolphins. It's been amazing. We love cruising through Georgia. It does have its challenges with its shoaling, but it is 110% worth it. We are crossing into Sapelo Sound, and it is just beautiful out here. It makes me think of when we were crossing through St. Andrews Sound because it was so terrible. Oh my gosh. It was such a rough ride, and the cruise was the worst 20 minutes that we've ever had on the boat. It was so rough. And this is just nice and peaceful, and it's beautiful. So there's just, it really does pay to like look ahead in the route and figure out like what people say or what the guidebooks say about, you know, different areas to see like if areas are particularly rough, or if people don't say anything about them, you know, then it's pretty good. But the Sapelo Sound is like a breath of fresh air.
I can't tell if Ollie loves us or hates us. Sometimes. But she puts up with us, so that's great.
Yeah. The animals here in Georgia are so playful, whether it be the birds, the dolphins. I saw a stingray. Yeah, as we were cruising, it's so cool. The dolphins that I just saw, they were jumping around. They looked like they were playing or just having a bunch of fun. The birds, they just swim so close to the water. They just look like they're gliding. Or you have the big white pelicans, and then they just swoop down and dive deep into the water to grab some fish. It is absolutely incredible. Humbling and grounding whenever you see the ocean, just knowing how large and how expansive it is, how strong and mighty, and it just makes me very grateful for these, like, for one, the ICW, and two, just all the like interconnected waterways around it, all the rivers, because it provides that protection that makes for such an enjoyable, relaxing, nice nice cruise. So the ocean is great, but I really do just love these protected waterways. It is really, really awesome. We're getting a bit more white caps. Not too big, just pretty minimal and small. And the wind has picked up because we do get a little bit of that extra wind from the ocean side, but it is still nothing to the extent of that St. Andrews Sound. So again, just super grateful for these protected waterways on the ICW.
The wind has picked up quite a bit today. It's now just past 2 p.m. and it's blowing. We're also going extremely fast with the current, 7.7 knots right now. And we're approaching probably the most challenging part of the day, besides docking later. Hell Gate is just this tiny cut between the Ogeechee River Inlet and the Green Island Sound Inlet. And so it's pretty narrow, has had quite a bit of shoaling. And with this wind today and the current, we'll see how it affects pivot. We're at about a mid-tide, I think, mid-falling tide. So you never want to go through shoaly areas on a falling tide, but mid-tide here is still 3.5 feet, so should be good. Moment of truth. We are entering Hell Gate.
Woo! Hell Gate, we're coming for ya!
That's a throwback.
Between us and that marker, it's probably about 1 pivot away. We use like the distance of a pivot as a scale. Not the widest of channels. We have successfully made it through Hell's Gate, and that wasn't so bad. Granted, we have been through Hell's Gate twice before, but just planning your tides and when you go through these tight or shallow, shoaly sections is the key to getting through.
Well, for our last little bit of our cruise here in Savannah, we are going to be inside for a bit. Jen was cruising, I was doing a little bit of touching up the vlog, and we had like a little blip on our RPMs, like it died for a second, came right back up, which sounds like a fuel issue. I looked at it, looks fine, if it's running fine since that blip, so I don't know if there's a little bit of air got in our line somehow. But we're gonna be kind of, you know, taking it nice and slow and easy. Oh, there it is right there.
Drop the hook?
No, see if I can pull off a little bit. No, we're just gonna drop the hook real quick, and I think that's probably what it is.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna come off to the side of the thing. So you need to unhook the thing. Whew. Never a dull moment. This has happened before once. Let's see if I can fix it before we hit somebody's dock.
Never a dull moment.
Alright. Okay.
Cam, which side you gonna be on? Okay, so you gonna stay on the red side?
Is it looking low?
Yeah. So what I'm doing right now is I'm bleeding the engine, which means we're removing the air from our fuel lines. So Somehow we have air coming in here. I think I know what it is. So I was just checking our logbook and we haven't changed our primary fuel filter in 115 hours. And that one we used to change every 50 hours, but we've been kind of just waiting for it to tell us it needs to be changed. I think it's telling us it needs to be changed. I don't know if that also impacts air like in the fuel filter or not.
Should we do a fuel filter change now?
No, we only have another less than 10 miles to go, 8 miles to go, so I think we go. Okay. We keep an eye on it. We just listen for it. It tells you right away when it's happening. Next time we hear like a blip, you know where it comes down, because I think it tells us once before it does die. Then if we hear that first blip, we'll find a good place to anchor off and I'll do it. But otherwise I'll do it tonight or tomorrow before we cruise next. But I think we're okay here. We're not swinging, we're not going to hit the docks. You know, just pulled off on the side of the road. Shall we continue?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You know, it's not a normal day on the Grey Loop when your engine dies as you're approaching Savannah.
Well, like everything in life, once you've experienced something, it's a little bit less daunting the second time.
Roger.
This happened to us on our southbound journey in Oriental. If you're on our Sunday summary, you definitely saw it there when we talked about it, but that time is because we were low on fuel. Having that happen right when you're in the middle of your cruise is not exactly how you want to spend it, but it is what it is. You don't always get to choose when you break down. Basically, we have like 8 miles basically till we reach our dock for the night. We're staying at a friend's place, and it should be slack tide when we arrive, which is what we were planning on originally. That's part of the reason why we left so early today. Right now we're on the outskirts of Savannah. Hell Gate is practically the entry point. And it's smooth cruising from here. It's a manatee zone, so we have to go nice and slow. So it's gonna take us a long time to do those 8 miles, but we'll enjoy it and keep our ears out for any more fuel issues before we land. One of our followers graciously reached out to us and offered us their dock while we stayed here in Savannah. They were subscribed to us in the summer and knew that we were coming here in a couple weeks, and we reached out, and it was really kind of them to offer. Thank you, Adrian and Karen. Coming back into Savannah gives me so many memories, because when we were on our loop last year, this was the very first place we docked, like without any family like around to help. And we did have dock hands, but it was like, you know, that was big for us because we were so new to docking and so new to boating back then, that we were just, you know, with the current, and you know, with Savannah, it's a very nice city, there's a lot of nice boats. It was very nerve-wracking for us, and you know, it was on our mind a lot, you know, coming the day before, you know, the day of, and now, you know, we're docking again in Savannah, and we're not nearly as worried. We're definitely still, you know, cautious, and we're gonna take it slow, but we're not nearly as worried. Feeling about docking?
No, I was actually feeling like the exact same thing, like reminiscing when we were passing by Isle of Hope Marina. yeah, just like all these feels of like remembering feeling like really nervous and really anxious about docking and the whole experience, and just I could feel it in my stomach that I was just like going to be sick. And yeah, and now like a year later we are back in Savannah, and it just feels like really good. I mean, we are by no means professionals or experts, but we are significantly better than where we started, and that's all I can really ask for.
We are anchored. We're not anchored tonight. We are docked, and we're gonna go meet Karen. Well, we just had dinner with Karen and her neighbor Josephine, and it was such a fantastic time. Thank you again to Karen and Adrian for letting us dock here. And with that, we're gonna close out the vlog today. We had a fantastic day cruising from Sapelo Island with a little blip towards the end of the day with our engine dying, but you know, that's life. And tomorrow, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. We have some rain here, so we might not vlog it. You'll see us on the next day when hopefully we're exploring Savannah, or you know, continuing northbound on the Great Loop and making miles, or doing boat projects, because there's always boat projects, so who knows. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to everybody supporting us on our journey so far and helping us complete America's Great Loop. See you guys tomorrow. What did you see? You're just scared of the water. It's okay. Nothing's there. Nothing's gonna get you. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing's gonna get you. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry. But many of y'all have noted, Ollie is practically half dog, half bladder. When we were living in Atlanta, she would literally sleep in until, you know, afternoon. So this is just another day in the life of Ollie on pivot. What do you think, Ollie? You think Dad should have changed the fuel filter before this? Yeah, you should have changed the fuel filter.
Why were you barking?
Bad
all right,
girl. You're gonna get a bath.
All right, come on.